video number 3. This is going to be a beginner's level 1, just going through kind of a short class with some easy movements, some stretches. So we'll get started. Again, I always, on these 3 videos I've posted, feel free to share them. I hope you like them and are getting something out of them, and I really hope that you will join in to whatever extent works for you. So we're going to start seated, and I'm going to sit on a blanket. This kind of helps get the hips up so the knees can relax out a little bit. So if you're down straight and the knees come up pretty high, you want to make sure that you elevate the hips a little bit just to let the knees open out. I want you just to start by sitting real comfortably and close the eyes. Place the hands anywhere that's comfortable to you. It could be palms down onto the knees, palms up, one hand in front of the other, just whatever feels more natural to you. And then just relax the shoulders and relax the face. So we can take these breaths just to kind of go into the body and see what we feel, just for a sake of noticing. So one thing we want to make sure that we do feel is that we are trying to sit real upright. So we've got everything stacked, shoulders, ribs, hips. But the weight is pretty much right over the sitting bones. Keep a little hugging in of the low belly. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping the jaw relaxed, keeping the eyes relaxed. And just take a few nice breaths here. Feel any kind of slumping of the chest start dropping. Just lift the chest back up. Come back into this. Shake out anything that gets tight. I'm going to start with some just gentle little neck rolls. So it'll be chin towards chest, ear towards the shoulder, head lightly back, other ear towards the other shoulder, chin towards chest. Just do a few easy circles this direction. When the chin comes back towards the chest, just change directions. And then when the chin comes back, you've done about 3 circles or so on that side. Just come back to neutral, lift the head up. Take the right arm up to the sky, reach over, grab towards the right or the left ear. Keep the left shoulder relaxed and just gently draw the right ear towards the right shoulder. Just a slight little lifting of the chin, so you slightly look up. Just keep light pressure onto the left side of the head. Keep the left shoulder dropping down. It's really easy to let it kind of creep up, so keep it down. If you can, keep the left fingertips onto the floor. Just light pressure here. And when we come out of this, you're going to keep that light pressure, just a slight resistance against the head as you lift back up to neutral. Release that hand. Take the left arm up to the sky. Reach over. Same thing. Other side. Left ear towards the left shoulder. Keep the right fingertips down. Keep the right shoulder down. And gentle pressure. Just slightly, you're just barely starting to look up a little bit. A few nice deep breaths here. One more breath. And then again, when you come up, that slight little pressure, a little resistance, you come back to neutral, release the head. This time both hands will go behind the head, interlace the fingers, let the elbows come forward, and there's a little pressure, chin towards chest, and just let it kind of stretch out and be heavy here. Another breath. And the same thing, when we come out of this, a little resistance, lifting the head up, and releasing the arms down to the floor. Left fingertips on the floor, just walk them out slightly, right arm up to the sky, and just stretch over to the left side, keeping the right hip anchored down as much as you can, and really reaching for those right fingertips. And it's a little spinning up at the chest. So as that right hip presses down into the floor blanket, and reaching that right arm up, you can feel that nice length going up the right waist. Another breath here. Then on an inhale, use your muscles, lift yourself up nice and long. Right hand comes down, left arm to the sky, over to the right. So same thing in this time. This time we're keeping the left hip anchored down, reaching to the left fingertips, slight spin of the chest, up and to the left. Keep the breath deep. As we stretch out through the ribs and through the waist, sometimes it's real easy to shallow our breath up because we can feel the tightness. So keep breathing into that. Another breath here. Then on an inhale, lift yourself up, left hand to the floor. This time we're going to take the right hand over the left knee, open up the left shoulder, and drawing the left shoulder blade towards the spine, and come into a nice little twist. Again, we're wanting to keep nice and long through the torso. On the inhale, lengthen up a little bit. On the exhale, keep that length, and then get a little bit more twist to the upper back on the exhale. Remember, this is not about twisting through the neck. This is about twisting through the upper back. Another breath here. Then nice and easily unwind this. Left hand to the right knee. Spin to the right. Draw the right shoulder blade back. So you're really opening to the front of the right shoulder. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, deepening the twist. One more breath here. And then release it nice and gently. I'm going to remove my blanket. You don't have to. I'm also going to spin myself around. You'll be staying facing the same direction that you are. So we're still in the seated cross-legged seated position. Now keep the legs where they are, but just walk sitting bones back a little bit. You're going to fold forward from the hips, so we aren't going to have any collapsing through the waist or through the chest. We're going to start walking the hands out. If you have something of elevation, grab that. You probably don't have a block, but if you have something, use that. And you can use that to walk out. And you're still keeping nice and long through the torso. And then just start lowering down wherever you can, walking the hands maybe out a little bit further. Hug the low belly in. If you can take the hands to the floor, take the hands to the floor. Walk it out. Reach the chest forward. We're looking more down towards the mat. So we don't want to lift up the chin and look forward because then we're not feeling so good onto the neck. So keep the gaze kind of down and in front of you. Keep hugging in the belly. Keep pressing the sitting bones back. And keep reaching the chest forward. Couple more breaths here. So if you can, you're just going to roll yourself forward onto hands and knees. However you can get out of this, just get out of it. Place the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we're going to come to a few cat-cow breaths. So keep the low ribs kind of pulled in until you're into the cat breath, and you release that, or the cow breath. Tailbone up, chest up. Exhale, hug the belly towards the spine, chin towards the chest, round the upper back. Keep the breaths nice and long here. So we don't move in and out of this real fast. We move out slow. Use the entire slow inhale and the entire slow exhale. Couple more breaths here. One more round. Coming into neutral spine, walk the knees back slightly and roll over all the way down to the floor. Roll the shoulders back, press the top of the feet down into the mat. Cobra pose, lift the chest, pubic bone presses down into the mat. We're real light into the hands. Exhale, lower forehead to floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Open the arms wide out. Take the right hand and move it slightly in front of the shoulder, about an inch. You're going to roll to the right hip. Maybe step the left foot behind you. This is a really good shoulder opener. If your head doesn't come to the floor, get a blanket or something, or even take your fist and let your head rest so that it can be comfortable, because you really want to get into opening the shoulder here. A little drawing down of the tailbone. So you don't want the butt to stick out, then you're going to get a pinch in the low back. Couple more breaths here. And then coming back onto the belly, arms out like a T. Left hand goes just about an inch or so up above the shoulder. Roll to the left hip. Right foot steps back. With the right hand, it can come in towards you onto the fingertips. Or if you needed to go under the head, to elevate the head, you can do that. A couple more breaths. And then back onto the belly. Interlace the hands behind the back. This is a real good low back strengthener. Inhale, lift the chest. Lift the arms. Maybe lift the legs. A little internal rotation here with the legs. Keep the elbows slightly bent. On an exhale, lower everything down. Change the clasp of the hands. Move the finger over one. On an inhale, everything lifts. Notice the gaze is more down towards the floor, that we aren't lifting the chin or looking forward. So keep the length onto your neck. Now we're going to lower everything down on the exhale, release the hands. We shimmy the hips side to side, make a pillow out of the hands, rest the forehead or a cheek. Maybe bend the knees, windshield wiper legs side to side. Come back to neutral, slide the hands back, roll the shoulders back, hug the elbows in, pull the low belly in, turn the toes under. See if you can lift the upper body in one piece away from the floor. We're going to press back to child's pose. So you can take the knees a little wider, big toes come together, and just fold down. Again, have the hips towards the heels more than the forehead towards the floor. If the forehead doesn't come to the floor, grab a block or blanket, pillow, whatever you have, stack the fist, let the forehead rest. Again, stack the hands if you can get a little bit lower. Or if the forehead does, you take the hands back by the hips. You're going to reach them out in front of you, so whatever feels good to you here. So about 2 more breaths here in child's pose. On the next inhale, you're going to come up onto all fours. So readjust yourself if you need to. Hands under hips. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. This time we're going to take the left leg out behind us, toes towards the floor, right hand reaches in front of us, thumb towards the sky. Hug the low ribs away from the floor. So we don't want to collapse through the belly here. Keep nice and strong. Also, don't collapse through the left shoulder. Another breath here. Next exhale, bring everything back down to the floor. Then the left leg goes, or the right leg goes out, left arm reaches out. Notice thumb towards the sky, toes towards the floor. Strong through the right shoulder. Couple of breaths. One more breath. On the next exhale, everything back down to the floor. So the hands are under the shoulders here, knees are under the hips, turn the toes under. This is downward facing dog. Just press your hips back and then start straightening the legs. Take a few breaths here. You can pedal the legs out if you want, and if you're real tight to the hamstrings, take the feet as wide as the mat. If you're tight to the shoulders, take the hands as wide as the mat. Maybe even slightly turn the hands out and then press yourself back. So there's a little extra rotation here with the arms. We don't want the elbows to go out to the side. We want to hug them in and then press back. Couple more breaths here. And then bring the feet a little closer together. On an inhale, we're going to take the right leg to the sky. You're going to shift forward, try to step that foot to the hand. If it doesn't come through, if it only comes here, grab the ankle, bring it on up to where the knee is right over the ankle. You're going to try to get that stacked. To start with, we're going to bring the back knee down to the floor, and you're going to bring both arms up to the sky. Let the hips sink heavy here. Relax the shoulders down the back. Or make sure they aren't reaching up or getting into that little scrunchy thing. So just nice and relaxed. Arms are reaching, fingers are spread. Let the hips be heavy. Another breath here. Then we're going to bring the left hand down to the floor. Keep reaching the right arm up to the sky. Now that's a little far away from you. If you have something of elevation, use that. It's all about keeping nice and long here. If we find ourselves collapsing in any way, then we need to bring the floor up to us. Another breath here. Both hands to the floor, or if you have two things of elevation, and we're going to walk the hips back, walk the hands back, pull the toes back, then reach the chest forward. Spread the toes as much as you can. And so a little hugging in of the knee and the heel, like you're trying to hug towards each other. Chest is still lifted, we aren't collapsing through the waist. Another breath. Shift forward, walk the hands forward, turn the back toes under, lift the back knee up, step back plank pose just to find your position for downward facing dog, and then press back downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths. And then on the next inhale, take the left leg up to the sky. Step that foot to the hand. Again, if it doesn't step to the hand, take it as far as you can. Grab the ankle, bring it forward. Knee and ankle stacked up. Back knee drops down. Now notice that back knee is not under the hips. So we got that nice angle of the back leg. And curl the toes if you want, both arms up to the sky. Hips are heavy here. A few breaths. One more breath here. And then the right hand comes down, left hand reaches to the sky, chest spins to the left. Again, if you need something for elevation, grab that for the right hand. And we aren't dumping our weight into that. We're nice and light. We're still using the leg muscles. We're just using that for a little extra support, so we can keep in alignment and keep nice and long. Another breath. Next, exhale, both hands either side of the foot. Shift the hips back, walk the hands back, pull the toes back. Spread the toes, reach the chest forward, hug the knee and ankle towards each other. Few breaths. Another breath here. Shifting forward, walk the hands forward, lift the back knee up. This time step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway position, so hands will come to the shins here, knees are slightly bent, shoulders and hips. Try to get up them on the same line, get nice and long. Exhale, release like a rag doll. Inhale, halfway position. If you can still get long with fingertips, that's great. Exhale, release. This time we're going to press through the legs, soften the knees, use your core, press yourself all the way up, reach, circle the arms, bring the hands to the heart. So we're going to get into a little bit of movement here. Start with some half sun salutations, then kind of adding on a little bit to that. So with your inhale, circle the arms up and over. With the exhale, float down. Use your core to support you here. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Ragdoll. Inhale, halfway position. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to stay with movement and stay with your breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway position. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, float down. Adding on to this, inhale, halfway position. Left foot's going to step back into a runner's lunge. To stay into this lunge, keep the back thigh lifted, keep pressing to that back heel. Again, knee and ankle are stacked on the front, get nice and long. Keep hugging the right hip back so that right knee's going straight ahead. If you need a block, grab a block for the right hand or for the left hand. Take the right arm to the sky. Again, I'm not dumping into this left hand. I've got it there just for a little bit of support, and then spinning the chest. Keeping the back leg very active. Another breath here. Both hands to the floor, either side of the foot. Straighten the front leg as much as you can. Again, if you have something of elevation, bring them on each side of the foot and use that little bit of help. Now we're going to have a little activity into these legs. We're not just standing here. We're going to like internally rotate, like we're trying to bring the inseams through and back, or if it makes sense to you, like you're trying to separate the heels, like you're trying to press the heels out to the side. Another breath here. Soften the front knee, step forward, forward fold. Relax down. Inhale, halfway position. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, press to the legs, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Keep with breath, keep with movement. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, float down. Inhale, halfway position, lift. Right foot steps back this time. Coming into that little runner's lunge. Nice and strong. Low belly's drawn in. Right heel's pressing away. Right thigh is lifted. Coming into a little twist. Right hand down, left hand up. Spinning the chest to the left. Keep reaching that arm up. Look up at that arm. Make sure that it's right above the shoulder. Sometimes they're like all over the place. We don't really know. So just check it out a little bit. One more breath. Then both hands either side of the foot. Straighten that front leg. Internally rotate those legs. Belly towards the thigh. Soften the front knee. This time we're going to step back to downward facing dog. So come into plank pose, just bypass it, and then downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step the foot to the hand. Again, if it doesn't come up there, grab the ankle. Give it a little bit of help. Crescent pose this time. This also gets into a little balancing. So you're kind of hugging into yourself here. Hug your muscles into your bones so you can lift yourself up. Take the arms to the sky. Right knee points straight forward here. Press to the back heel. Draw the tailbone down. Hug the low ribs in. Relax the shoulders down the back. Couple of breaths here. You can always drop the knee to the floor. Always an option. One more breath. Both hands to the floor. Step back to plank pose, and then downward facing dog. Next inhale, left leg goes to the sky. Step it to the hand, give it a little bit of help. Knee and ankle lined up. Lift up, crescent pose. Pause here, a few breaths. Check back in, shoulders relaxed. Tailbone drawn down. Ribs hugged in. Press through the heel. Sometimes there's lots of little adjustments to make, kind of like on a golf game. Another breath. Both hands to the floor, step back, plank pose, downward facing dog. Another breath. And then just walk the feet to the hands, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, press to the legs, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Chair pose. So to start with this chair pose, we're going to keep the feet just hip distance apart. So a chair pose, you can reach the arms up, and it's just like you're trying to find a chair behind you. So you don't have to go real low, but you want to hug the low belly and keep the chest lifted a little bit. And then keep the weight into the heels. So we aren't coming forward, kind of trying to lift and spread the toes away from the floor a little bit. Couple of breaths here. Next, inhale, press to the legs, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, reach the arms. Bend the knees, lift the toes, hug the low belly in. Draw the tailbone down just slightly. Knees point straight forward. On an inhale, press to the legs, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath here, just to recenter, regroup. Next, inhale, reach the arms up and over. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway position. Step back to plank pose, to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it to the hand. Again, give it a little bit of help. Spin the back heel down, warrior two. So we'll reach the left hand out in front of us and then use that to help lift ourselves up into warrior two. So we want the knee pointing straight ahead. If it's collapsing in, don't just move the knee out. Take the hip, move the hip back a little bit. The back foot, the back leg is strong. We're pushing through the outer edge of that back foot. And the toes are at like a 20-degree angle, somewhere like that, but not parallel with the back of the mat. Then we want to keep stacked again, shoulders and hips. Bend into that as much as you can. Then maybe you can add the arms. Sometimes it's a little easier if our shoulders are tired or tight. You just kind of turn the palms up. Just breathe here. Keep pressing through the outer edge of that back foot. Keep that back leg active. Another breath here. We're coming to angle pose. So we're just going to take the elbow to the leg. Right elbow to the right leg. Left arm reaches over. Keep hugging that right hip back. It likes to find its way forward, so we're going to keep pulling it back. Now we're going to extend this ankle pose by taking the left hand, reaching all the way overhead, slight little spin to the chest, to the left. Still pressing through the back heel, reaching through the fingertips, so you get a nice long line here. Another breath here. Unwind this, both hands to the floor, plank pose, downward facing dog. Coming to the other side, taking the left leg to the sky. Step up to the hand. Back heel spins down. Rise up, warrior two. Again, check in. So don't have to add the arms right now. Check in with the front knee, the back leg, the back foot, nice and strong. Sink down as much as you can. If this is where you are, and your stance is a little shorter, that's fine. Just get into the alignment, into the stacking. Then maybe add the arms. Maybe turning the palms up. Another breath. Angle pose, elbow to the knee, arm to the sky. Spin the chest to the right. Take the arm overhead. Get nice and long, all the way. If you can take that hand to the floor or to the block, feel free. Grab something at elevation, bring the hand there. If you can go to the floor, take it there, as long as you don't collapse anywhere. Both hands down, step back to plank pose, to downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then just take the feet, walk the feet to the hands, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway position. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath here. We're going to go into a little bit of balancing here. So to start with, we're just going to shift our weight to the right foot. And start lifting up the left heel, maybe floating the knee up, maybe reaching back, grabbing, whoops, not very good there, grabbing that foot. So just a little quad stretch here. Take a couple nice deep breaths. Maybe release the foot, see if you can just float the knee up, hug the knee in. So it's really important to keep your eyes focused. If we dart around with our eyes, we're probably going to fall. Sometimes it's easier to keep our gaze towards the floor. Then go ahead and release that foot to the floor. Shake it out a little bit. Changing, shifting weight to the left foot, floating the right knee up. Grabbing the foot, little quad stretch. Drawing the shoulders back. So here it's important also to notice if we sink anything down, we're lifting up. We're always trying to hug in and lift up. Float that knee up, hug it in. Another breath. And foot to the floor. Shake it out. So if you have problem balancing, it's not a bad idea. You can always go over to like a wall, place a finger on the wall, not lean into it, and just use that wall for a little support. You start moving the hand away lightly. So whatever it is to build your balance up, try to take those tools that are out there to help you, because balance is so important, especially as we get older. So we're coming to tree pose. So tree pose, there's 3 different options. Option 1, Option 2 is foot to the calf. Option 3 is grabbing that, bring it as high into the groin as you can. Now here, my thigh is pushing into my heel is pushing into my thigh. Same if I'm on the calf, not on the knee, above or below the knee. Find your focus with your eyes. Keep the gaze a little down to start with, that really helps. Or go over to a wall, place your finger, find your option, come into it, hug yourself in, hug the muscles into the skeletal, get nice and tall. If you feel any kind of sinking, you're releasing everything, hug back in, lift back up. And just bring your hands to the heart now. Try to keep the knee open to the side. Another breath. And then we're going to release this. Just release the foot, bring the knee up, place the foot to the floor. And we'll just shift sides. Again, find your option. Keep your gaze focused. Breathe into this and just think about elongating, growing taller. Another breath. When you release, release the foot, float the knee up if you can, foot to the floor. Very good. Okay, on to our backs. We're going to bridge pose. So with bridge pose, we have our feet about as wide as our hips, knees point straight ahead. If you have something, it could even be, you know, like a decorative pillow or something, you can put between your thighs, and this helps keep from your knees opening up. So feel free to do that. I'll do that the first round. I'll have it between. I will brush the backs of my heels. I'm going to press through my feet, curl the tailbone, curl the pelvis, lift up, walk my shoulder blades together. If you can clasp your hands, clasp your hands. Keep the throat open. So we don't want the chin burying into the chest. Keep pressing the shins forward, the tailbone down, and lift the hips. Another breath. And when you lower down, separate the shoulder blades and guide yourself down carefully, one vertebrae at a time. Tailbone last to release. Hug the knees into the chest. Take a couple of breaths, and we'll do 2 more rounds of that. So feet to the floor, find your setup, make sure your knees are pointing straight forward. You can also just bring the arms down alongside you, like little robot arms, hands go up, press into the forearms, walk the shoulder blades together. You can stay here if you want. Just focus on the knees pointing forward, the hips lifting, pelvis tilting. If you want to walk the hands together or the shoulder blades together and clasp the hands, do that. Just don't let the knees splay out. Keep the knees pointing straight forward and the throat open. If you feel pinching into the low back, press the shins forward a little bit more. And keep the pelvis tilting. So it's like you're trying to bring the pubic bone up towards the belly button. When you come out of this, broaden through the shoulder blades. Guide yourself down. Hug the knees to the chest. Nice deep breath. One more round like this. Find your setup. Lift up. 3 to 5 breaths. Again, when we come out of it, broaden to the shoulder blades, guide yourself down, hug the knees to the chest. Happy baby. Happy baby. You either take your peace fingers that you make a peace sign out of, hook the big toes, palms face each other, or you can grab the pinky toe side of the foot, feet is wider or wider than the shoulders, ankle and knee stacked up, and then with the arms kind of pull the thighs down towards the floor. Keep the tailbone going towards the floor. Keep the shoulder blades going towards the floor. Give me nice deep breaths here. While you're here, we'll do a few more breaths here. If you like to straighten a leg, go ahead and straighten one leg. Maybe bring it back, straighten the other leg. Maybe both. If you have both legs straightened, see if you can hang on to the feet and just bring the legs together. Even if you have to bend the knees a little bit, go ahead and bend the knees. And then go ahead, release, have the knees into the chest. Open the arms out. Place the feet onto the floor. Take the right leg, cross it over the left leg. Lift the hips, take the hips to the right, about 1 to 2 inches. Drop both knees to the left. Gently look to the right. Take about 3 or 4 nice deep breaths here. And then on an inhale, come back to center. Recenter yourself down your mat. Cross the left leg over the right. Open the arms. Lift the hips 1 to 2 inches to the left. Knees to the right. Gently look to the left. Have 3 or 4 nice deep breaths. Come back to center. Again, realign. Come into final relaxation. So if you like to have a pillow or a blanket rolled up underneath the knees, go ahead and do that. Even underneath the shoulder blades is really nice, so the knees just give that little support. The shoulder blades is a really nice little chest opener. Just kind of roll it up, goes right underneath the shoulder blades, lay back. Close the eyes. If just feeling being flat on the floor feels better to you, go ahead and do that. Let the breath become very light and easy. Let the muscles just become relaxed and heavy. And just take 3 to 5 minutes or so just to relax into this. Just keeping your eyes closed and keeping relaxed. So I hope you enjoyed this. This was more of a beginner level 1, just easy, still gets the blood flowing, getting some nice stretches.